Hello, hello.
Welcome back, guys
You
and
guys
gals.
get into our time machine. We're going back so far.
Farthest we've been
The oldest will go
for now.
for now. I think she is still, right?
She's the oldest American girl, yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows what we're gonna do?
Ancient. America.
Mesopotamia.
That wasn't here, though, was it?
Yeah, it was. Mesopotamia's America.
Uh-oh.
Not here though.
Time
This
for me to
is
go back to social studies. Well, you guys, this is 1764. We've got a beautiful, adorable new girl
new girl alert.
locking back in. We're ready to meet her.
I'm so excited.
Kaya.
She's here.
She's here. And don't worry, I will strangle my way through every correct pronunciation I can for
I
this
know.
book series.
I do feel bad that you got the two girls that
Yeah, it's really cool.
have a lot of words in different languages, and I do speak one of the languages
Yeah, that's
semi-fluently, and I didn't
That's true.
shoulder it.
That's okay.
And the language I speak is Nez Perce, guys.
You guys, surprise.
Not Spanish. Who knows that?
What?
What use would that be for me in American?
Hello. Yeah, come on. Now that you're here. All right, guys. Well, Kaya is very unique. She's our oldest girl in the historical canon. And she's also like pre-colonization establishment in America.
She's truly the only American girl.
That's true, if we think about it.
Yeah.
Because we all live on indigenous land.
Yes.
Never forget that.
Never forget what the whites did. You and I.
And I will say, it is interesting the passing ways. This book is already like white people or people who aren't us have done bad things to us. Hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Who's to say?
And I am like,
I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen again to these people.
This is weird foresight, foreshadowing to be putting in this book when we're not going to touch.
It felt like they're like, not to jump ahead, we'll get to it, but when Grandma is talking about it felt like that scene in Pocahontas when they're the like witch doctor kind of is like showing the future, and he goes, "These white people are dangerous."
Yes.
And I'm like,
It's
yes.
very that. I was like, oh, right.
And I'm here to say they are dangerous.
And they are dangerous. But I figured before we jumped in completely,
Mhm.
we would dip your toes in.
Let's do a
our
little dip
collective toe
into the river.
into a little bit of the prep that went into her. So I have a little excerpt from American Girl's website
Okay.
to talk about how much work went into getting her as right as they could for the time she came out. And then I went to the Nez Perce People's website and I pulled some stuff from them as well. So we can honor both little sides. So American Girl spent 5 years researching and creating Kaya's world. There was an advisory board of Nimipu leaders and elders. So the Nez Perce, that's their
actual name.
Their actual name.
Tribal name, not the
Yeah.
anglicized version.
Yes. So elders, educators, historians who would help review the stories, but also like all of the costuming and doll details. So like down to like a moccasin and a hair tie.
That's cute.
Also, her sets are very cool.
Yes.
You know, I'm local collector.
No, I remember I really wanted Kaya. I got her books, but my mom, well, I think we were just kind of like, I had Kit, and it was like one doll rule, and also Kit and Kaya came out right after each other, so I was get my grubby little hands on the second one.
You're like, damn.
My mom was like, "Do you have money for it?" And I'm like, "I'm but 11."
You're like, I'm about to go kit my way to a job.
All my mother's helper funds, the $3 an hour I'm making watching Seamus.
Kit's parents paid. Well, not her parents. Kit's uncle paid her.
That's true.
You should have been negotiating.
And I learned nothing from the Kit books. Apparently,
you read them and you were like, "Surely this doesn't apply to my situation at
That's
all."
actually so funny.
I don't know how to do that. You were like, "Right."
I'm like, well,
I have not been inspired.
like, well, guess I'm shit out of luck.
What is that? That kid stopped me. I can't read.
So yeah, but I did love her like whole set and stuff.
It's very cool. And I have a note later too about some of the other little side accessories that you can get later. But it says that author Janet Shaw, throwback to Kirsten,
She's back.
Read over 90 books on their history and culture and worked super closely with the advisory board and retraced the tribe's traditional routes from hunting grounds to berry picking and root gathering fields.
I think this is just a little funny because like reading 90 books is crazy and like more power to her. And then I remember, even though we loved it in the Josefina books, that Valerie Tripp was like, I lived in Santa Fe for a summer.
Yes. Yes. I also think, again, it is a little crazy to do all this work and not just like have her have like a co-author.
Yeah. He was from the tribe.
That's like maybe my one side thought on this. Because it basically says that like the advisory board requested that Kaya's story be set before permanent European colonization in order to show what they were like in their cultural, like keep their culture and
As
like
strongly
history.
intact as like untouched.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Which like I think is
Aw,
very
I like
cool.
that.
I think it's interesting. I think that's why the sequences where they're like hopefully nothing comes in the future to change this.
Yeah.
Feel a little like, oh,
But also
okay.
makes sense why, like, obviously, even ahead of time, they changed the structure of like the stories.
Yes.
Like besides having meet and changes.
100%.
Like obviously it wouldn't have made sense even if it was like in 1784 to have her have like happy birthday Kaya. But like I think that probably the advisory board was probably also like, this is speculation, but like these stories don't work with this structure, so you
Yeah,
have to choose different
100%.
ones.
And then you've said this before, but they talk a little bit on the website about her unique face mold. And then I watched a CBS Sunday morning clip that was like a minute and 30 seconds
Oh, I'm gonna watch
long.
that later. That's cute.
It is cute. They're inside like a historical, like they're like a craft hall. It looks like a state fair almost. And they're talking about how the same thing. So the website says showing the teeth is considered insincere, but then in the interview, it also says the same thing you said, which is as an act of aggression. So both things. And then it just goes on to say that their women were like master weavers, and that Kaya's belt bag and corn husk bag both feature motifs that would have been created and dyed with corn husks.
Oh, so cool.
Accessories. So that's fun. And then just a little
ding.
Perfect timing to switch topic.
Yeah. Sounds off now.
Just a little. No, you're good. So a little bit about the Nez Perce people. Some of this is from Peek into the Past. Some of this is from their website, and then I just combine them together, just because.
No, I think like maybe we can. This will be in the pod, so you guys are a little inside baseball. For Kaya, it might be sort of kind of the Peek into the Past at the forefront a little bit, and then maybe just address anything else afterwards.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little bit more nuanced and different.
No, 100%. So I pulled out here the like main things I felt like were helpful to understand for the story that was read, and then I left like the extra leftovers.
Okay, cool, perfect.
As like bonus.
Let's go to it.
Basically, originally they occupied an area that included present-day Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, but they were like nomadic by like seasons. So like in the winter and the fall when things got cold, they would like settle into permanent villages with like a longhouse and like a communal area to stay and be warm. But then through the spring and the summer, they were more nomadic and would go even out as far as like Montana and Wyoming for fishing and trading.
Like Pacific Northwest kind of.
Yes, 100%.
Beautiful area of the country. I hear. I haven't been yet.
We got to get you out there.
I know. I yearn for.
I really feel like you would like it.
It's like me.
It's very me vibe. You.
More if I go, I won't come back.
It might take you away.
Portland.
You might get
colder. Austin.
I fear we may never get you back if we go
I don't
there.
think so.
Well, because it's a war zone.
Yeah. Goodbye and good night, Caroline.
Goodbye and good night, Caroline. If we get you to Portland. So this is directly from their website. This says their government included a leader for many aspects of their traditional lifeways, such as fishing, hunting, warfare, and religion, and councils guided the decisions of each leader. They would choose their leaders and council members based on their knowledge and particular skill sets. And then I had a redundant thing here. But the thing I thought was the coolest, and we will highlight many times over, is that when Spanish colonizers,
conquistadors,
came into America, they would trade horses with the Nez Perce people and the other indigenous groups nearby. But the Nez Perce in particular became very skilled horsemen.
Yeah.
Which love.
Celia coded.
And because of the way that they worked through like domestication and breeding, and because it became so like the horses became such an important part of their like tribal practices. They also are the basically inventors sounds crazy, but their breeding led to the Appaloosa.
For this.
It's a type of horse. Appaloosas are the horses. They're usually like a solid color, and then they have like the spackling and the spots on their butts. Very desirable type of horse trinket toy.
Yeah.
We love an Appaloosa.
And as a spirit stallion of the Cimarron fan, does this really tickle you that these are?
I mean, yeah, I love
I think
love
that's Lakota, but like area, but
yeah. Yes.
yeah.
But yes, I love all of the conversations like Kaya and her dad have about like their horses and the relationships with the horses and the trust, because it is very spirit sign of the Cimarron coded, which I think is such a great movie because of the way I feel like it highlights this very deep spiritual connection between like human and animals that's like present in a lot of like Native American religion.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's just interesting. One, I always find it, and I knew this, but I always find it fascinating that horses were not native to America because they have become so like synonymous with native tribes and kind of.
Oh, especially like the American West.
Well, and it's just so impressive if you think about it because, like, spoiler alert too, Kaya's grandma mentions that they didn't have horses when she was a kid, which means horses have to have come, like, less than 100 years ago to this tribe. And the fact that these native tribes, like Nez Perce and others as well, were basically able to figure out, like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take these creatures and, like, just kind of the way that they quickly adapted to having horses, that it became such like, wow, these guys are great horseback riders. These are these like warriors on horses, basically. It's just kind of impressive when you think about it.
Yeah, so it basically took like almost 300 years, which is like nuts.
Yeah.
To like bring the first horses and then work through like domestication and then breeding. And then like particularly like Appaloosas are built for like speed and like swiftness, because you wouldn't like they wouldn't have needed like a Clydesdale type workhorse or like a bigger, broader horse. They would need like smaller leather horses.
They are very pretty.
They're very pretty. But yeah, no, it's super cool. And it's crazy. Like, it's crazy when we think about, inventions in our time being like technology. Like the new iPhone or like a touchscreen phone.
I guess we do adapt things quickly. I'm like, it's amazing. I was like, nah, that makes sense.
No, but it's crazy. Like, we're speed running like adaptation versus like the idea that like a horse would have been like so scary and foreign.
Well, horse is another creature with its own mind, AI. But I know
yes,
you're more
100%.
of a horse girl than I am.
That's true.
And I fear horses a little bit.
I think it's good to have a little fear.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they are one of the more like intelligent, emotionally in tune species. Like,
yes.
I know they can sense fear. But I know like horses, they're not like dumb animals.
They're very intuitive.
Yeah.
That's why they're used a lot in like different like therapy treatments, like more like holistic therapy, because you'll like have like a bond with that horse and the horse can like pick up on your emotions. And then also like horses are very, very intelligent and very receptive to training, kind of like dogs. Like you can do like sensitivity training with a horse where you like desensitize them. Like you make noises and you clap, and then eventually like, the horse won't get like spooked by stuff anymore.
They've got such scary teeth.
Oh, yeah. I've had my hand bitten my fair share of times, and it is a horrific feeling. So anyway, I think it's very cool. Also, so their name, the Nez Perce name, it was given by French traders originally, and it means pierced nose. Though this practice was not actually common amongst them, it's that early French fur trappers mistakenly believed, after seeing a few people,
that they thought they were all had pierced nose.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So typical colonizer behavior.
Yeah.
And then today they are a federally recognized tribal nation with over 3,500 registered citizens. So thought that was cool.
That's very cool. Thank you, Celia, for a little history update ahead of it.
Absolutely. Also, we got another pronunciation glossary.
Thank God for this one.
Thank God for this one, but we're not going to lie to you guys. It is equally odd, kind of the way the Spanish one was.
Well, so like the Spanish one at least. So the thing with Spanish is that like the consonant and the vowel will always be pronounced. Well, not the consonant, maybe depending on a few things, but the vowel will always be pronounced the same. The thing that's tough with this is it's telling you how to pronounce it in English.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's one of those guys, where it's like, YA is like capitalize YAAH, and you're like, how do I say that? So we're gonna do our best.
We'll do our best.
But unless you're I'll just do a quick disclaimer. Unless you're a Nez Perce Pierce person listening, I'm not gonna trust your suggestions of how to pronounce things any better than ours.
Yeah, if you guys have an actual helpful pronunciation guideline from like somebody who's maybe on the advisory board or something.
If you have the American Girl Advisory Board,
If you got them on the line, send them our way and
otherwise, no, we're doing our best.
yeah, no, we're doing our best. No, we don't mean any harm by any unintentional mispronunciations. So, shall we get into it?
Let's get into it. All fun and games now.
Well, or is it? This one kind of is all fun and games.
It is gonna.
And then it's just sadness and depression. And then
As
it's
all good-
fun and games.
As all good American Girl books are.
That's right. This one's really quite a ride.
It's very quick.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was very quick.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 1. Let's race.
Yeah.
All right. So we open up on a beautiful valley, green grass. It's summertime. The river is flowing. The birds are chirping.
It must be such a nice temperature.
La la la. Seems dreamy. Yeah. The wind is blowing through Kaya's hair as her and her family ride into a valley of the winding waters, specifically. So we meet a bunch of people here. We meet a lot of people in this book.
Yes, and I will say, having everyone have not as just someone who's used to reading anglicized names, having people not have anglicized names made it very hard for me to keep track for like the first half of the book of who was who.
I understand.
Like I didn't know who her sister was for like the first part. I thought that was her mom.
Also, they introduced them all in like a single paragraph in the first 2 pages, and then they didn't come back to a lot of the names for like a chapter or 2. So it was also kind of like,
But I think I have it now.
who was that? Okay. So here's who we meet. First, Kaya, obviously. That's our girl. And she's riding on her horse, Steps High.
Which I like that name.
Love that name.
Little Prance.
Little Prance. And it is because she do be stepping high.
Oh yeah, that's a Steps High horse.
That's a Steps High horse. And her horse is new and younger. And she has just been working through, like she's been tamed, but she's still a little finicky, a little fussy, a little foalish. And behind her, she has a lead rope in her hand that's attached to the horse behind her. And on that horse is Speaking Rain. And Speaking Rain is not her blood relative sister.
No.
But her adoptive sister who joined her family after her parents died.
Yeah, I want to know more about Speaking Rain's backstory.
I think we get some of it.
Oh,
I
okay,
think.
cool.
I was skimming ahead on the other
Uh-huh.
books. So TBD.
Yeah.
But she got a sickness, and that sickness caused her to go blind.
Crazy.
So Speaking Rain cannot see. This is important for a lot
Remember
of
this fact because it will come back a few times.
You know what? For once, an American Girl book delivers on almost every foreshadowing promise that it
Yeah.
gives you.
It's a plot point, and I bet it will continue to be.
I'm very, very excited. Very excited to see where it takes us. So Kaya is guiding Speaking Rain's horse behind her. And then we also meet them. We meet Itza, her mother. But literally that word means mother. And then Tota, her father, is there. And then Brown Deer, her older sister. And then Wing Feather and Sparrow.
Which are her
younger twin brothers.
big family.
Big family.
So it's like 5 siblings. 1, 2, 5 total kids. Brown Deer, Kaya, Speaking Rain, Wingspan,
Wing Feather.
Wing Feather, and Sparrow.
Wingspan. I understand.
I was combining the 2 names.
So we get a lot of names all at once. And they're not all relevant at once. So it's the middle of summer and it's prime salmon fishing season. So we're coming into this valley to set up a temporary camp. They're not going to stay. We also speed run through the summer, by the way, in this book. They were like, we got
to like months. This 4-chapter book is over the course of months.
Basically, every chapter speed runs forward. Like it feels like it starts maybe in like June, and then the next chapter's July, and then the next chapter's
we're in
August,
like October by the end of it. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind too. prime salmon fishing season, so many groups of their tribe have gathered together to hunt in the valley.
And this book, guys, is sponsored by Big Salmon. If you read this, you're gonna be hankering to eat salmon afterwards.
They are constantly talking about how fat and juicy and
I literally bought
carved
salmon.
up. I love that. So they stop and then they start unloading some of their materials from the packs on their horses. But it's funny that they do this because they basically like pack right back up and then go down to like where their family's teepee is.
Just kind of light packing, you know?
Yeah, so they take a little break. And Kaya is an interesting girl.
Yeah.
She's got a little Josefina and that she's very introspective. We get a lot of
Kaya thoughts.
Yeah, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
We love an introspective girl.
It is more fun, I think.
It is.
You get more upfront, I feel like, with the introspective girls.
Because it feels like you understand their world a little better versus just being like told
what's happening.
Mama's this way. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So she's watching her father admire a herd of wild horses that are kind of moving nearby. And she's thinking about how he's such an expert horseman and she wants to be an expert horsewoman someday. And then her mind wanders and she's like, I bet he's thinking about racing his horse.
Aren't we all?
Well, what other good is a horse?
If not to race.
So she's excited for the day that she can take Steps High racing. But Steps High is too skittish and too
young,
unproven, and untested. But Kaya yearns to race.
This is her yearning. This is in typical American girl fashion. We have to have a yearn early on.
Have a little yearn.
And the yearn is race.
The yearn is go so fast.
Mm-hmm. Ride like the wind.
The yearn is go zoom zoom.
The yearn is be the best horse girl to ever horse.
She low-key is the best.
She is,
Love
maybe.
Felicity. Felicity ain't got shit on riding bareback and taming a wild horse.
It's kind of like, have you seen
actually I guess she kind of does.
The third Batman movie?
The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Felicity's Batman and Kaya is Bane. When he's like, you merely adapted the darkness, I was born in it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you merely adapted the horse, I was born with it.
Yeah.
It's like, they're both good, but someone has it in their blood.
Yeah, she's like, you wouldn't understand.
But you guys didn't think you could a Batman reference in American Girl.
In Kaya. In our Meet Kaya recap. You guys, we like to keep you on your toes.
I'll put them as the who will win the fight this time.
Just slip Batman in there. So anyway, she whispers like her dreams to Steps High and is basically like, someday I'm gonna make you go so fast. And Speaking Rain is like, are you talking to me?
I like thought that was funny.
And like, Kaya's like, no.
Talking to my horse.
Talking to my horse. And her mom overhears her talking to her horse and she's like, don't be so boastful now. And Kaya's like, all I'm saying is that like someday I'm gonna be like the fastest, coolest girl ever. And her mom's like, what did I just say about being boastful? Enough.
And I was like, is this Addie's mom checking in? I'm like, you got your pride, girl. Quit it.
Their moms would have.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a sit down
Itza
together.
and Mama would be like,
it's over.
Boastful girls,
it's over.
Thumbs
party.
down.
You gotta keep those girls in check. So then after that it's not even a scolding, just a warning. They arrive to the teepee of their family, and Kaya's grandmother comes down to meet them. And they exchange gifts. And they describe that it's like an honor to be the person to like present the gifts to like the elders in your family. And they like hug and rejoice and kind of start setting up their little camp. As they're settling in, Kaya is left to watch her younger twin brothers. And also Speaking Rain. So they wander off and they go to play with a group of other children, boys, who are playing off on the edge of the camp. And we meet more people. Raven.
So many people.
A younger boy.
Yes.
And Foxtail.
A slightly
older boy. And older boy is always trouble.
Yeah, they're always Talk about boastful.
Oh, brother. And Kaya falls for a hook, line, and sinker.
Kaya, one thing as like asterisk right now is Kaya is the most baitable, like you challenge Kaya to anything and she's like, I'll do it right now.
She's like, they're like, bet you won't. And she's like, I'm actually already doing it. And you're like, right.
There's like 2 other times in this book where like, girl, stop. People are baiting you.
I literally was like, she can't. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening again. I can't believe this is happening again.
Just say no
Just say no.
to drugs and challenges
And boastfulness.
and boastfulness.
So once again, she's like goofing off, and then the slightly older boy, Foxtail, is like, uh-oh, like, wow, is that your new horse? Must be pretty fast and cool. And Kaya is like, it's not boastful to tell the truth. So she's like, she is so fast and she is so cool and she picked me. And
he's
he's
like, how'd you pick you?
yeah, he's like, oh, really? Meh.
Yeah, they
How?
get into a real like horse like dick measuring competition here.
It's really funny. And she's like, yeah, my papa, the way cooler guy than you, took me out to the horses and she like touched her nose to me and picked me.
And our mind synced and it was like beautiful and there's rainbows and like you couldn't see it, but it was like so cool.
You like weren't there, but like when it happened, like it was like sparkles in the air and like a magic bell.
You wouldn't understand because your horse was given to you.
Because your horse is ugly,
Stinky,
boring, and I have an Appaloosa and you just have a roan mare.
dig.
Boring. Me playing with my Briar's horses as a child. Wow. Well, you don't have the limited edition Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron trio set with Rain, Spirit, and their baby that's not in the movie.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is Rain an Appaloosa?
She's an American paint horse, specifically a Sorrel Overo.
Beautiful.
Anyway, she's a paint horse because she has that splotch on her.
Okay.
That's why I was mixing it up. Anyway.
The dumbest thing I'm about to say is it's crazy to think there's so many different horse breeds.
Oh, they're
As someone who knows there are so many different dog breeds.
Yeah.
It always blows my mind, like, even different cat breeds. I'm like, that's a different type of cat.
Yeah.
It's just not a different color. It's a
No,
different
it's
type.
nuts.
Crazy.
Right?
Anyway.
No, I agree. I feel the same way like when I go to like a fair and I'm like, wow, look at all these horses.
All these different animals.
Because in your head, I feel like it's like standard. It's like racehorse, Clydesdale.
Yeah, I know
Pony.
Clydesdale, but then I'm just like, it's Clydesdale and like the skinnier one.
Yeah.
Done.
A thoroughbred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, easy.
The horses that do horse dancing and the horses that do labor.
Yeah, I think I would love a pony.
I feel like you'd like a pony.
Yeah.
Ponies are very dog-like.
Yeah, I think I could manage a pony.
It's not too late.
You guys decide. Should I get a pony in my apartment in Austin,
Texas?
Texas?
If you send us enough money to buy a pony, Caroline will put it in her house.
It's easy. I see people in Austin with horses all the time.
You could put it in that little dog park playpen you have.
Can you imagine?
You just don't address it. It's just out there.
I get an email from the office. Hey guys, we noticed there's a pony.
There's like a pony.
They say it's a horse. I say actually it's a pony.
Yeah, you just
wrap myself out.
only write back to that. You go, actually, it's a pony. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but like that's a pony.
Not my pony. It is my pony.
Not my pony, but if you guys are gonna do something about it, could you maybe tell me before?
Give me a 10-minute
before
warning.
you like ship it off to the glue factory. Like, just let me know really quick. So anyway, Kaya, it tells like a whole story, and she's very boastful. So Foxtail basically is like, hey, well, why don't we race? And you can prove it. And Kai gets a little nervy. She's like, uh-oh, I might have been boastful just now.
I may have dealt cards I can't pay.
I might not be able to cash this check I just wrote.
Yeah.
She's like, actually, Steps High's like a little tired. And Foxtail's like, not too tired for a little race.
Which I was like, clever.
I know. I was like, damn, you got her, King. Like, he really hustled this one out.
He really wants to see this race happen.
So they race. They go off to this other little area, and whoosh, off they go.
She's doing good.
Gallop,
at first.
gallop, gallop, speeding away. Steps high, confident, strong. Clap, 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 clap.
Coconuts banging together.
But when she gets a pretty good lead, a crisis happens. Steps High bucks.
I'd never want to be on a bucking horse.
Oh, you don't, and you don't. It is scary.
Have you been on a bucking horse?
Yeah, it wasn't to like the level it's here, but I've had a horse jerk up its butt when you're on and like try to, Yeah.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary because they are just so much bigger than you. Yeah. Like, I feel like people picture a horse in their head, and you're 100%, unless you really work with horses, not picturing a big enough animal.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
I was walking on the trail in Austin the other day, and 2 horses came up.
Yeah.
And it was like they were towering over me, and I was like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I'm this close to horses usually.
No, because on average, most horses, my head would be at, like, slightly above their shoulder.
Which I'd be below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
No, I think, like, their back is, like, below my head.
Yes.
So,
Crazy.
have to get me up there.
Spooky.
Gotta hoist.
Yeah, you gotta, huh.
Yeah.
That's what the stirrups
Yeah,
for.
so I wouldn't want to be on a bucking horse.
No. So Steps High, like, goes high-key out of control. Kaya, to her credit, at least, like, rides it out. She does survive the chaos and manages to, like, calm her back down, but it's clear that, like...
Well, and Raven helps her.
Yes.
He comes up with his horse and kind of, like, sides next to her to kind of calm
it down.
But it does say that her horse starts foaming.
Yeah.
And I was like, isn't that really bad?
It's like a horse stress.
Oh, okay.
thing.
I didn't know. I thought it was like rabies.
No, it's not that. Horses get... Have you... What?
No, I'm too scared though.
I don't know. It's like bubbles, sort of, like, at their mouth, and
Gotcha.
like they'll, like, do these, like...
So it's like
mouth...
saliva.
Yeah, you know, like when, like, a dog gets, like, kind of stressed out.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes they'll, like, over salivate.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like
Okay,
that
okay.
kind of equivalent.
I thought something was really going wrong for a minute.
I mean, something's definitely...
Yeah, but I thought it was like, oh no, we killed this horse.
Okay,
We killed
no,
Steps High.
We're not gonna kill Steps High. We've got horse toys to sell, girl. We've got like a $60 horse to... I'm sure it's way more than that now, but anyway, so she loses.
Sad.
Bummer. And she's bummed about it, and Foxtail does taunt her for losing and is like, not so fast, huh? And, like, to Raven's credit, he is kind of like, oh, I mean, like, at least you proved she was fast, just you didn't prove that you could win. So
true.
Little wins, and she kind of is like, oh, it's nice he said that, but it doesn't matter because I was boastful.
Yeah, she's embarrassed right now.
The word boastful is said
so often.
8 billion times in this book.
Which is crazy.
I just haven't heard that word in a very long time.
I'm gonna start using it. Don't be so boastful, Celia.
So I like it. Yeah, we can just start warning each other more.
For being too boastful.
You're being too boastful. So she, like, hops off her horse, and she's, like, kind of nervous, and then they're standing off to the side, and Foxtail's like, haha, you're slow. And then they challenge each other to another race, but this time on foot. And she's like, bet you couldn't, like... She's like, want to race me right now? Race me to the river. And he's like, yep. 1, 2, 3, go.
And they zoom off.
And she tries to keep up with him, but he's like dodging and weaving through
and he
the
knows
brush.
his way. It seems like he knows his way around better because she thinks he takes a shortcut, so she tries to, like, follow him.
She tries to follow him. She can't track him. She, like, loses sight of him, like, amongst, like, the brush. And then she's like, oh no, this is so awful. Also, actually, I forgot one important detail here because it's about to immediately become relevant. Before Kaya ran off, she, remember, was put in charge of her twin brothers.
Yes.
And she left Clockett, the blind girl,
in charge of 2 4-year-olds.
To keep track of them. And literally speaking, Rain's like, I can try, but they're always playing tricks on me. So, like, low-key, no promises. And Kaya's like...
Speaking Rain says yes, but she doesn't say yes.
Speaking Rain says yes because she kind of knows there's no other... Like, Kaya's not really gonna listen.
Yeah, she's like, I can't see anything, my dear.
She's like, I can't even tell what kind of expression you're making.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, yeah, but this seems like a bad idea. So... Kaya is, like, freaking out, and we get a lot of mentions of, like, the stick people.
Yeah, which are, like, kelpies.
Yeah, they're, like, forest sprites that, like, take little children away.
Like, disappear them. So, it's like one of those legends that parents tell kids so they don't run away into the woods. That's like, if you get too far, the stick people will take you, and it's really just like, you'll get lost in the woods.
Yes. Also, they're specifically... I'm looking this up right now, just to know it. They're called... It's common amongst the Northwest tribes, it says. Particularly the Salish, which are in, like, near Snoqualmie in Washington. Which is where Twin Peaks was filmed. So that's where it falls from the fun facts, you guys. It says many legends acknowledge that they at least somewhat resemble other Native Americans. For example, the majority of tribes describe what are as tall as any other normal Native American. However, they are like often seen as like very deep in the woods. And some tribes say that they resemble our idea of Bigfoot.
Ooh, scary.
So that's interesting.
Like hinky punks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically like village prankster spirit type things. Like not
Every culture has one.
Yeah, not evildoers, but like
mischief makers.
Yes, mischievous.
Mischievous.
The word I'm looking
Mischievous,
for.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I tried to say both versions of that just then. Anyway, and they play a part where Kaya's constantly convinced that they are like...
Yeah, the stick people are blamed for a lot.
The stick people are coming after her style on this
which is crazy.
That's a little crazy. So anyway, she gets turned around. She gets lost. She's like, did the stick people lead me here? Did I get lost? Like, it's shadowy. It's mysterious. I don't know. And then she hears like these jays flying by, and she thinks that the way that they're cawing sounds like they're saying, forgot, forgot, forgot. And she's like, what did I forget? What did I forget? And she's like, oh my God.
My sister and the babies.
I left my blind sister with my troublemaking twin brothers.
For like 4 hours now.
Yeah, she's like, I've gotta go back. So she leaves a little gift for the stick people so that they won't fuck with her anymore. And then she runs back to camp.
And I said that's like how I left a little gift in the diebuck room at Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum.
You have to.
But you just gotta just in case.
Just in case.
If there's ever a time you have to leave an offering, just do it. Just why not?
Why not? Because like, what do you lose?
Yeah.
Like, best case, nothing happens. Worst case,
you're haunted by a spirit.
Like, you're protected by the gift you gave them.
Exactly.
So, chapter 2, switchings.
This was kind of a crazy chapter.
This one. Okay, because we do run into a classic American Girl problem in this book.
Yes.
Which is the first 3 chapters are long.
The last one is nothing at all.
The last chapter is like 4 pages.
Yep.
And just ends.
No one taught these authors how to regulate chapters.
They're a little crazy.
How to tell story. Piecemeal stories.
Okay, so Kaya gets back to camp. And of course, those siblings...
She sees her aunt.
Nowhere to be found.
Her aunt's like, hey, and she's like,
did you see... anyway, haha.
Gotta go.
Bye. So she like runs off, and she's like, uh-oh. She finds Speaking Rain, and Speaking Rain is kind of just like sitting there, feeling around for something she dropped.
She's like, I told you.
She's like, whoops, I'm alone. And the girls immediately go down like the worst case scenario list. They're like, okay, so they could have fallen into the river.
Coyote could have eaten them.
Could be getting hunted by a cougar.
Stick people.
The stick people. Right. Like, instead of just being like they're being dicks and they wandered off.
They probably decided. Yeah, no, they're like, well, here's
like,
all the bad things that have definitely happened.
They're probably dead.
Yeah, they are dead.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're dead.
Yeah. The stick people have replaced them when we find them. Spoiler.
Yeah. Kaya's like, don't know what to do here. So anyway, she starts tracking them. And she's picking up on little trails here and there. And then she loses it, and then she gets it back. And she keeps talking to Speaking Rain, and I'm like, I love that Speaking Rain is here, but it is funny every time. Because I'm like, hey girl, you know this woman literally can't see what you're talking about.
I know. There are 2 instances in this book, and not to be insensitive to the blind community, where she brings Speaking Rain with her to find something. And I'm like, no one more useless to bring.
I'm like, bring Speaking Rain when you need somebody to quietly listen.
Yeah.
Like, she's fucking got you. Also, she's a good weaver, it says. Like, she's very good at, like, handiwork. So, also bring her if you need that. But there's 2 times where you're like, this is one of them, where you're just like, hey.
Because surely there's someone better.
Surely there's someone better, because you're going to get in trouble anyway, as she does. So she finally finds the trail in the woods and eventually finds them like scrambled up a tree being like mischievous little troublemakers. And she's like, oh my God, like come back here.
Yeah.
But her auntie
followed
them and was like, I was worried like when I saw you running around looking crazy in the camp earlier that something had gone awry. And boy, was I right. So... I get why she does what she does, but it feels a little insane.
Yeah, it does because nothing happened.
happened.
Yeah.
But I understand
But culturally, we're different. We have different
in a different
discipline
time.
styles.
Yes. So her aunt is basically like, well, we need to go back to the camp because you, Kaya, abandoned your responsibility by abandoning your brothers to be watched by
By a blind
somebody
girl.
who literally can't. So that's not fair because you also put Speaking Rain in a bad position. And so therefore you must be punished by the whip woman.
And so will Speaking Rain, as it turns out, because when one kid gets punished, all kids get punished. So Speaking Rain is really fucked.
Over. I know. I was like, I get it because like they're very community minded. So it's supposed to be like,
it does make sense too, because it stops. Because if you all get punished, then that means other kids would stop other kids from doing bad things.
Yes, and she like basically gives them the lesson she's like punishing them for.
Yeah.
She's like, here's why everybody is being like
And
switched right now.
As Kaya says, she's like upset that she abandoned her responsibility, but she's also very upset because now all the other kids will get punished and like know that it was her who caused the punishment.
Yeah, she's basically like, I'm not really worried about getting switched. I'm worried about everybody not liking me anymore.
How do you think you become the whip woman?
You're not good at weaving.
It's probably true.
You're laughing, but
you're just like
so dead serious.
You just have like a stick. Like,
I figure you just get given a different job, or maybe you're a childless woman.
Yeah,
because it kind of says like the whip women and like the mothers like gather later, and I was kind of wondering if it was like a childless.
Do you think you'd be a whip woman?
Well, at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay at weaving.
Yeah.
I used to be good at like the bracelets and all those complicated like
I'll have to test it out and see.
So the children all get whipped by the whip woman, and she's like, you guys are being punished because Kaya acted selfishly and in her own self-interest to run away from responsibilities like a magpie only thinking about herself.
Chasing that shine.
So then all the other kids call her a magpie when they get up from their punishment.
Which is literally, having read this book is the only thing I remembered about this book.
That's funny.
Was that I actually thought when we were going into it that Kaya meant magpie.
Oh.
So Kaya would be really upset to know that.
Yeah.
But then I remembered that it was a nickname.
It's funny though, because like I think magpies are cute, but I do know that they are destructive, mean birds. So I guess it works out. Anyway, so
they're all bullying her.
They're all bullying her.
Like magpie. And she's like, that's not my name.
She's like,
stop it.
Boo-hoo.
Stop it.
And then we just hard jump to another scene.
Yeah, we're a few months later now.
Yeah, I just kept writing later, comma, because it just kept being like weeks passed, and I'd be like, oh right, weeks passed.
Yeah,
right.
She's like hanging with Grams.
They're making little treats and stuff. They're prepping some salmon. To be grilled on little sticks. And
Grams gutting it. And
yum. She's slicing. She's gutting
getting
and
that pink salmon ready.
That's right.
So good.
Yum. And Kaya is like, I feel bummed, but mostly I want to be the best horsewoman ever. She's like, damn, that sucks. By the way, I'm thinking about horses again.
My goals have not changed. If I can be the best horsewoman, I will not have this nickname anymore.
Yeah, if I can become like really good at horse, no one will remember time I was bad at sister.
Yeah.
And she's like, everybody keeps calling me it and magpie, and it's mean, and I don't want it anymore, and I'm super upset. And her grandmother's like, ha 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 ha, you'll never believe what they called me. And she's like, well, what is it? And her grandmother's like, oh, they called me finger cakes. Because they would make these like compact little like ground root like biscuit type treats.
Very curious about what these taste like.
I feel like I just kept imagining it would taste kind of like plain biscuit.
I know, but for some reason I thought it tasted like really good because Grams is like obsessed with them.
It does feel like it's like probably like the texture and like the crunch.
Yeah,
got like a good little snick snack.
Yeah, you're probably like a hard cookie biscuit type thing.
Yeah. But they would make these finger cakes, and then her brother would take them for like when he would go out on like patrols or on hunting missions and things like that. But he wouldn't always eat them. So whenever he had leftovers and extras, and he would get more because he was a big man and she was a little girl, and they'd be like, little girls only need a little, and she'd be like, but I want it. I'm growing. Give me that. So she would steal them.
She would finger swipe his finger cakes.
Yeah. So they would call her Finger Cakes for a long, 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 long time.
Which I do think Magpie is a worse nickname.
Okay, I think then not, but I wouldn't. If somebody called me Finger Cakes, I think I would have, like, if I was not in a fragile mental state.
So you don't want me to start calling you Finger Cakes?
I mean, it depends on if you want to keep being my friend.
It's true.
Yeah.
And if I call you that, one of our other friends will make it even weirder.
Make it weirder and make it worse somehow.
Yeah, so I won't do that.
Yeah.
Although I did want to say, I do think one thing that is funny about, and again, this is, I think, mostly because of like the English translation of things, is it's funny to have someone whose legitimate name is Raven and then be like, how dare people call me Magpie, a different bird?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like if you
Her brother's name
Celia,
is Sparrow.
yeah. It'd be like if I was like going, Celia, like that's a real Helen thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just started calling you Helen,
I guess
and you'd
it's
be
kind
like,
of like Karen.
yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. It's
But
just like
it is funny.
it is just funny, like, because of the context of it. And even like Finger Cakes, it's like Kaya's name, as I say at the end, is like she who arranges rocks. I'm like, we've all got names, you know?
Well, like Cecilia and Celia, both like of those real like roots of the name mean like blind and unseeing.
So speaking of rain,
Like very like the origin of my name is not where people like when I was younger, you know, like are like, oh, what's your name mean? And it's like all these beautiful things.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
mine
kind of means something ugly, but that's fine.
Mine means little and womanly.
Well, and you're both. An apt name.
Yes.
For ye.
Good job, Mom
and
Schaefer.
I am going blind, so I guess it all works out for us.
I'll call you Speaking Rain.
Okay.
Not Finger
I
Cakes.
think. Thank God.
Oof, friendship saved.
Bullet dodged for another day. Also, so then she like sidesteps and she's like, anyway, yeah, someday you'll get rid of that. But by the way, Kaya, you're not a little girl anymore, even though you literally are a little girl. And soon you're gonna go on a vision quest. And you should like work towards learning the lesson to be more responsible now so that it doesn't hurt you when you go on your vision quest later. And I'm not going to talk about your vision quest more than that, but we are going to bring it up like 4 more times.
Yeah, Vision Quest lore was like so subtly dropped, but like not subtly dropped.
Also, it's like the whole final paragraph of the book.
Yeah, I want to know more.
Which is
we will know more.
I'm
hopefully.
pretty sure.
If we don't, then that's a real.
We do because I'm pretty sure it
That's
ties
real
directly to
cocktease.
one of the like toy sets you can buy.
Okay,
for her.
cool.
So stay tuned for danger. Okay, so then the family gathers for their meal, and Kaya kind of like looks around the room as they're eating and just like ruminates on like how much she appreciates and loves everybody in that room, and she wants to work really hard to become trustworthy and to lose the nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which should have been the end of the chapter, but isn't.
Correct, because then there's another like weird little sequence here.
This could have been cut.
Yes, that's why I kept it pretty abridged.
Yeah.
Because it's so much nothing for like 7 pages. But basically, in the morning, Kaya gets up, they have breakfast, they prep as like a family, and then all of the women go off to the river to bathe.
I think this was just to show culture.
Yes, 100%. So we get a lot of like scenes and we meet Rabbit, who's an older girl, and Kaya and Rabbit are like splashing around in the water. And then Rabbit calls her Magpie, which sets Kaya off. And then Kaya gets boastful again and is like, bet I'm a faster swimmer than you. Surprised she's not.
Kaya isn't better than anyone on anything, which is kind of funny that she keeps boasting.
I think it's really cool. I've joked.
She's like 0 for 3 right now.
I've always joked, but unfortunately, Kaya needs to learn this lesson. You can be a shit talker, but you have to not be a sore loser. You have to be an okay loser and a sore winner. Yeah. Okay, and there's no in between because you can't talk mad smack and then be a sore loser.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Nothing is better than talking a lot of smack, losing, and then just be like, yeah,
good job.
Because then people get mad at you for that also.
Yeah, we saw that in kickball.
All the time. All the time.
We talked mad smack, and then we would always lose.
And then we'd always lose. And
we'd be like, hey, good job, guys.
Put her there. Handshake. So anyway, Kaya loses again. Kaya does not catch Rabbit, and Rabbit's like, ha ha. And then Kaya's embarrassed.
And embarrassing.
Then her father takes her out with him on his horse, Runner,
mm-hmm.
which I know we're getting the
Easy name.
normal version of the name, or the English version of the name, but Runner.
I don't like it,
Steps
actually.
High's a sleigh name.
Step High's a little better, but I was
I'm just
thinking, like,
saying.
Runner would be a cute name for a pet rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runner Rabbit.
Yeah, Runner Rabbit.
That's cute. And they discuss her mishap with Steps High, and basically she's like, I don't know, like, I like should be a natural, and like she's my horse, and we were picked for each other, and all these things. And her dad's like, well, did I ever tell you when I was younger and foolhardy and silly? And she's like, no, what happened? And so he tells her like a good dad story about how when he was younger, he was put on a horse, and that horse misbehaved, and he got so caught up in like trying to make the horse go faster that he lost control of the horse.
Got bucked off it.
Yeah, and he like tumbles into like a soft patch of grass instead of like trying to slow the horse down. He's like, I just jumped off and rolled into the ground.
Well, the funny thing with this story is he says he said he was younger than Kaya's brothers, Sparrow and Wingfeather, and in the book earlier it says that they're 4. So the story happened when he was 3 years old.
It's crazy.
And having a almost 3-year-old nephew, I'm like, who put that kid on a horse?
How is that baby on a horse? So
that's a baby still.
Yeah, and he's like, anyway, nobody's known how to known how to ride a horse, queen. And he's like, anyway, get to work. So he leaves Kaya, and Kaya calls Steps High over.
She whistles because she knows her whistle.
Special whistle.
Yeah, which is cool.
Love that. And then she starts doing like slow, patient moves with her, like listening to Steps High's like breathing and
this
her
is
body
very
movements.
Felicity coded training Penny.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting in tune with her horse's emotions and things like that. And while she's doing that, Foxtail comes by to mock her again and just be like, ha ha, loser, magpie.
Yeah, he's really Eddie themed.
Yeah, and then he rides off.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the chapter. Chapter 3, Courtship Dance.
This was a fun one.
Bro. Although similarly a chapter that should have ended at one point and kept going for no apparent reason.
We really got like a fire hose of culture.
Yes.
Which I'm not complaining because it was a fun read. But
it was a fun read. Well, and I feel like she did a good job of making it like interesting to read. Yeah. Whereas sometimes like when we would read like Molly and it would be like,
or even the first Josefina we weren't really a big fan of because it was
the
just
first
like
Josefina was very like
laid out.
Here's the cultural thing you should be learning about.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, but like, couldn't we?
Well, I think it was because Josefina was like an inactive participant in some of it.
Yes.
And like, it feels like Kaya's a little bit more active in the moments.
It feels more organic when this book is telling you where Kaya fits in the cultural thing that's happening versus with Josefina. It was like Josefina, is looking at the cultural thing that's happening and explaining it, even though she actually wouldn't think about it that way because she lives in that culture.
I agree.
So, Courtship Dance. Oh, once again, many days later.
Yeah, big time jump.
Big time jump. The women are all sitting about near the teepee, spending time chatting and working on their weaving. We get a lot of descriptions about like the materials they're using and dyeing things. And anyway, Ala, her grandmother, says that when she was young, they didn't have horses yet. So this is where we get a little peek into the past. Grandma edition. She talks about a lot of different things.
Yeah, this one was, that's so nice, Grandma. Like, let's take you to bed.
Yeah, and then she gets, like, so worked up and, like, yells at them and is like, listen here.
This is where we talk about the white man.
Yeah.
Or the pox that he brought.
She's like, wow, once upon a time, there was no horses. And then everybody's like, oh, my God. And they talk about, like, how much better life has gotten since having horses and all this stuff. And then, yes, she goes, everybody pay attention to me. I remember the time of the great sickness. And she goes on and she's like, traders came to our land and like brought with them like goods, but not only goods,
but bads.
A terrible, terrible like sickness and infection that basically like killed everybody I knew and I loved.
And their healing men had no idea what to do.
Yes, and there was no solutions. And then she leans kind of into like the light and is like, look at all these pockmarks on my face. Like these are from when I had the illness as well. And I bear them as like a memory.
And they mentioned earlier too that she had poxes on her face, like when you first meet her. And it's kind of like they imply that like, I think what is kind of implied in this in the Peak in the Past too is that they traded with a different tribe. that had met the white men because they didn't ever meet the white men.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Peek into the Past, it says that the Nez Perce specifically didn't, at least on written record, encounter any white people
Until
1805.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy interesting, rather. But yes, I agree with you. They're basically like, we didn't encounter the white men or like these like other people, but we knew we know they've been near our lands and we worry.
The whole biological issues that came up with it, I feel like it's just such a like, and the deaths that it caused is just such like an extra sad layer to it because of like,
yeah,
just how like unpreventable it was, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, 100%. So
like, even if they hadn't meant to in any sense,
yeah,
they don't
just
have
like the amount of people that like
well, it's like how
lose.
like white settlers got like malaria, you know, in like the Chesapeake area because of the mosquitoes.
Yeah, and then you're like, why are we all dropping dead and getting sick?
Yeah, because
well, we've never encountered this before.
Be careful, guys. Don't go to foreign areas.
Well,
ever.
That's the lesson American Girl wants you to learn.
Stay in your hometown.
Stop colonizing. So we jump to the side again. Not time-wise, but just kind of like to a parallel new scene. The camp is preparing for an evening of merriment. Drumming and singing and dancing shall be occurring tonight at this courtship dance.
Courtship dance.
Do you know us? We love a good thing like that.
Oh, this was thrilling.
It was delicious.
I want to watch this happen.
Miss Brown Deer, the eldest sister, is getting ready in her best dress.
She's probably like 13.
And she's honestly. She's
done her braids nice. She has like extra feathers in them.
Yeah, she looks like very beautiful, very glowing.
Kaya's like, she's the most beautiful girl here.
This is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She's the most beautiful girl in camp. Anybody would be lucky to dance with her. And Kaya's too young. So her and Speaking Rain are just kind of sitting there while Brown Deer's getting ready. And they are like, oh, well, do you have anybody you want to dance with? And Brown Deer is like coy. And she's like, I don't know. Tee-hee-hee. And then she leaves. So basically what happens is in this dance, there's a circle of boys and there's a circle of girls. And they're encircling one another. So the girls are in the inside circle and the boys are on the outside. And they kind of go through these dances and these movements. And the boys all have like a little stick in their hands that's like decorated. And as the courtship routine goes on, they can like lay the stick on the girl's shoulder and dance near her. And if she likes him, she'll accept it. And then they'll dance together as a couple. And if she doesn't, she can knock his stick to the ground.
I like that.
Dream. We love. And we are both in agreement that we should bring back. I just think we're losing the arts. We're losing not just of the flirt, but of anything. Where's the ritual?
These things we're learning of these like symbolic turn downs and these symbolic offerings, like the squash and Josefina and like returning the squash. It's like nicer than saying no.
I was gonna say, I think part of the issues with like modern dating is so many people are like afraid of direct rejection. But wouldn't it be nice if we had these like,
if you could just knock a stick off your shoulder?
Yeah, if it could be like, I offer you a gift, and I go, oh no, thank you, I've had quite enough,
and you took that,
but then I take it,
and you both accepted,
and
you
then
move
you're
on.
Like, oh, now may doth I take you to dinner?
Yeah,
that you may.
No, I like it. I'm always interested too. I was watching some videos of some like tribe like courting like rituals on like the TikTok, and I was like, this is so interesting, like that.
It's just very cool.
All right, you know what, guys, today we're gonna get all the eligible young things around, we're gonna dance, and they're gonna find someone.
It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
let's like it. Really cool. So the younger girls are outside, and everybody who's like not participating is still kind of like dancing and chatting like off to the sides of the camp,
making noise,
playing drums, maybe
singing.
Everybody's like involved, and the girls, Speaking Rain and Kaya, are off to the side gossiping about Cut Cheek. Cut Cheek is basically the hottest guy, the hot guy.
He's Cocoa.
He's slim but muscular, and he's got a scar that only makes him handsomer.
So what was his name before the scar?
Yeah, it does feel like he got renamed, or maybe it's his nickname. It is not elaborated on. It's just kind of like, Cut Cheek.
His name was Cut Cheek, and he had a cut cheek.
How fitting. Unless it was a birth defect.
Still hot.
So anyway, But basically Kaya's like, well, I don't think Brown Deer's interested in him because every time we do the courtship dance or every time like we're around, like Kachik is always eyeing her up and she's always ignoring
She
him.
never looks at
She
him.
never looks at him. She's so shy. And Speaking Rain's like, duh. It's because she likes him the most.
Wise woman. She sees beyond what we see. Yeah,
True.
it's so true. I never look at people I like.
I was gonna say, no, it's literally like those memes where it's like me with the person I like, and it's like not looking at them at all, and me
Yeah.
with somebody I have no interest in at all, and it's like, oh my god, like yeah, thank you. It's like humiliating in like a different way. You're like, oh, I can't admit that I like you. It's embarrassing.
Even to myself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta.
Like, my eyes are gonna go
You do
bug.
it first
If
humiliation
she looks
ritual
at him,
style.
she's gonna blush so hard and she knows it.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, I'm gonna feel the color drain from my face, but also appear only in my face.
She's like, I can't let him win yet.
no.
So they're dancing. As the dance kind of goes on, jumps back, puts his stick on Brown Deer's shoulder, and she kind of is like, and shrugs it off.
So he jumps back.
So he jumps back. And then, while this was happening, dart, weave, dance, twirl.
The whole time we're getting like Kachik moving his way in, I'm like, if I were watching this, like POV, like Kaya not speaking right, this would be like, I'd be like riveted.
Yeah, I'd be
watching
like,
who's snaking to who.
I'd be
know?
like, right.
I mean, like play some bets. Like,
let me in there.
You thought I was interested in Tia Dolores and Papa? This
Bro,
is like,
baby, I'm laser focused.
I would eat this thing up.
Yeah.
I would hate when I have to do it. I would love watching it.
Yeah. Love to watch. Hate to watch him leave. Love to watch him dance. So there he goes. Kutchi gets in there. He puts his stick on her shoulder and she lets it stay there and they dance together. Sexy.
So I guess she's married now.
So I guess she's married now. Later, several weeks pass.
Months, years later.
The camp is ready to pack up and move on. The fall is coming. It's getting a chill and it's getting darker earlier, much like for us. And so they're packing everything up. While they're doing that, Ala notices that she must have left her knife near the river. And she's like, Kaya, you go get that.
And
Go
Kaya's
look.
like, come on, Speaking Rain, let's go find that knife.
Speaking Rain's like, might I tag along? And Kaya's like, yeah, surely you won't be an inconvenience in the treacherous, uneven ground and like path we're gonna go.
To find an inanimate object.
Well, yeah, for the search for an object you might maybe
Step on.
need to be able to see. Right. So they go and she's like, yep, tag along. And, you know,
They're on the
Tata
horse.
is fishing and other people are there and they pass like other people who are like kind of wrapping up like their season of like hunting and Kaya's taking all that in. And as they go, eventually Kaya kind of ventures ahead.
Yeah, she takes Speaking Rain off the horse and says, I'm just going to look quickly.
Yeah.
You stay here.
Yeah.
Don't move an inch.
Please don't go anywhere.
Don't move at all. I know you can't see, but don't move.
So she's picking along, and then she notices that Steps High, who she's bringing along with her, like walking behind her with like a lead in her hand, is getting like skittish and kind of nervous. She's like pawing at the ground. She's like stopping and starting, and she's like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, what is it, girl? And she looks back and she realizes that, they're right near a big ravine, basically like that cascades into the river below. And she looks, and Speaking Rain has wandered, and she doesn't know because she can't see that there is a ravine. And she's like, wait, stop, like, don't go any further. And Speaking Rain takes like another step or two and then stops. Whew, right at the edge.
Whew, so safe.
Disaster averted. Just kidding. The ground falls out from under her and she tumbles into the river.
No.
Who could have seen
Stomach
that
drops.
coming? The consequences of my own actions?
I would stay put if I was blind, I think.
I just think like I don't understand why she was like wandering. Feels like she should have stayed on the horse.
Stay put should be her name.
Stayed put. Stuff. And then like I said it's a little Kirsten coded that Kaya just leaves her someplace that she knows is kind of
Like
dangerous.
when Kirsten left her little brother in like a bear
Yes,
country.
exactly, exactly. And then she's like, "Oh my god, how could I have possibly
She's
foreseen
like,
this
Peter,
happening?"
no.
And you're like, "Oh, well, duh." So, chapter 4.
Whoa. Location
Hello?
change. Bet you guys are wondering why we didn't finish this episode on our cozy couch. It's because the camera died halfway actually we had already pretty much finished the episode and the camera died. Thankfully, only at chapter 4 did we seem to lose most of the footage, so we're coming back to you a day later to repeat what we already said that you'll never hear, maybe the funniest content we've ever put out. But we're doing it for you. And so without further ado, Celia, you want to take it off?
Let's jump back in. Just like speaking rain into the river. All right, chapter 4. Rescued from the river.
Which is quite the spoiler, you know?
It's true. It does immediately tell you what's going to happen.
It's like she falls
Uh,
into the river and you're like, "Oh my god." Then it's like, "Just kidding.
and
She'll
it's
be
like,
good."
don't worry, it's all going to be okay. This is the first of 6 books, so we got to keep some of them around. So Kai leaps into action. She's like, "Oh my god, there goes speaking rain." And the river is quite rapid. So she's like, "I'm scared, but my goal is to save her. Like, let's go." She is basically like, the only way I can save speaking rain is if I run ahead of her, shove steps high into the water, cut her off, grab her, and then bring her back to safety.
Swifter than the coursing river.
That's right. Crazy, plan, for a child to be pulling off. But if anybody's capable of it, it's gonna be our girl
It's
Kaya.
our girl.
So she speeds ahead, she lurches into a gallop, and then eventually she tries to shove Steps High into the water. Steps High is, like, initially kind of anxious, worried, she, like, stops right at the edge of the embankment, but then takes that final step, finally whoosh, cuts into the water. They're
They
a little
lock
ahead
in.
of her. They lock in, 2 minds melded together, laser focused.
It's
So
beautiful.
they cut her off. They get her. They swoop over to the side, and they finally, like, it goes deeper to shallow. Finally, Steps High's hooves are back on the ground. Also, this is the crazy thing. Steps High is, like, fully swimming
Yeah,
with Kaya on her back, like, mid-rescue.
which is crazy. I guess the logistics of that are like, I'm not a horse person, as he famously said, but like, can they tread water? I guess she's swimming
Yeah,
against the current, so she's like not treading necessarily.
horses can swim.
Mhm.
Horses can swim.
Imagine like swimming. Would you want to be on a horse swimming, like on their back? Do you think that would be a cool experience?
I mean, I do think it would be a cool experience. I used to think that about the Chincoteague and Assateague Island ponies.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
No.
I've been to Assateague before. It's
My parents have
near.
been, but I'd like to go. I have a pin with one of the ponies on it.
Did you ever read Misty of Chincoteague?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. They're
Horse
like,
girl canon.
yeah. It's really cool. I mean, it's a little scary to be on beaches with like just wild. Like, it is funny that the horses like live on the beach. Or like, okay,
Mhm.
ideal life, guys. Like, what are you doing here? Like, they choose the beach, you know. Um, and it is funny because you can like basically put your like beach blanket down and like have a picnic,
Yeah.
and then like some yards away is just like 6 horses.
Yeah. That's kinda my dream. That's my
Yeah,
dream life.
I'll take you there
Someday. Someday.
someday.
I'd love that. So anyway, so they're swimming, they get her out. But Kaya is, like, initially kinda freaked that, speaking rain might not be good.
'Cause she's
Uh,
limp as a rag doll.
Limp as a ragdoll, not responsive, just laying there, and Tota and Foxtail kind of, like, materialize from the embankment,
Mhm. 'Cause they've
and
been
they saw
fishing
the
and probably
whole
watched
thing.
all this happen.
They were like, "She's probably got that 11, 10-year-old girl is she's probably fine." Um, so then Totag's gotta step in and help and smack a little bit of life back
Yeah,
into
it says he,
into
like
her.
smacks her back and, like, water comes pouring out.
And I get it. Honestly, I've always said that I think one of the worst ways you can die that's not like a man-made contraption, i.e., like guns or like, you know, like
Mhm.
buildings or rides or things like that, is like drowning.
Well, can you imagine how, like, alarming this whole situation was for, like, Speaking Rain? Because, like, she falls and immediately is, like, plunged into, like, rapids and is kind of fighting, but not knowing what's she can't even see, like, Kaya, like, rushing by her,
Right, she
you
doesn't know
know?
that somebody's coming to save her or not.
Yeah. That's supposed to
No,
be terrifying.
it's pretty nuts. So she's fine though, everybody, she's good.
We saved her.
And, uh, Tota is like, "Wow, good job, Kaya, you did it. We're so proud of you, like, this is the type of responsibility I was talking about, and, like, you were only able to do this rescue because you and Steps High finally have, like, a mutual respect and understanding of one another.
Mhm.
Cool." And
Horsemaster.
that's the only reason. Yes, well on your way, queen. And Foxtail, who also saw this happening, finally is like, "Well, I guess you do have, like, a good, fine horse, and, like, you're good for it, Kaya," and doesn't call her Magpie.
Win.
So, slay. So then we get this, like, weird ending to the chapter and the book as a whole where Kaya starts, like, internal monologuing about a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to what happened in this book at all.
But probably
Um
is relevant to the future books in a weird foreshadowing.
It's definitely I'm figuring relevant. So she starts thinking about visions, which we've mentioned a couple times, and she starts with that like one of the old chiefs had a vision where he was told that like the pale-faced men or the white-faced men were going to come and steal their shiny rocks. So we need to hide the shiny rocks inside the mountain. So they did that, and then they prevented something bad from happening, i.e. the rocks being stolen. And then that her mother also had a vision, of a woman arranging rocks, which is how Kaya got her full name, which is Kaya Otonmai.
Mhm.
I
Perfect.
think that's how you
Probably.
say it. Close enough. If I got it wrong, you can let me know, and I will try again next episode. And then she wonders, like, what her, Waikin is gonna be, which is a guardian spirit, and when she goes on her vision quest, she will acquire one, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Of the description in the book. So she's hoping that this Wiccan will give her special powers.
Yeah, she wants to
And
see things.
yeah, I'm not being dramatic. I'm not being facetious. She literally is like, I hope mine is cool and strong and smart and gives me special powers.
What do you think
Thanks.
your little warrior would be? Spirit warrior. It's Wyakin. Little cat.
Probably a little cat. I mean, I guess if I'm going like natural world animals,
Mhm.
maybe like a lynx.
Ooh, that's good.
I like a lynx.
I think mine would be a raccoon.
Ooh, little hands.
Yeah, little hands. I think you'd be like, "Fa, fa, fa, fa," you know?
Crafting. Yeah,
But yeah,
I like that.
much like our girl Josefina who yearns to be a healer and is like, "I am destined for this. This is my future."
This is
Kaya
for
is like,
me.
"You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be the vision girl. I'm gonna have visions that will help people. So help me God in the
Yeah,
sky."
I am interested to kind of see how, like, visions maybe continue to play a role, or maybe
Mhm.
they won't. I mean, I figure they must because we got so many. One, we're ending this book on them, and there's, like, 2 or 3 other times in this book that it mentions it, and these books aren't long enough, I feel like, to have, like, super throwaway things in them,
No. No, it's
usually.
definitely gonna be like I wonder if it's gonna be, like, changes that she does for, like, vision quest or something. 'Cause that make the most sense to
Ooh.
me. I was like, because that's a big change for Kaya to become a
They're
vision.
all the titles are kinda interesting. They
Mhm.
are much more intense
Yeah.
ones.
No, it's gonna be a ride. But guys,
Yeah.
that's you might think that we
That's
shortened
the
that
end.
chapter because we had to re-record, but I guarantee you we didn't because that chapter was 4 pages.
Yeah, y'all, it's interesting. It just kinda ends, which is very par for the course, I fear, for this American Girl author, though, because the Kirsten
Yeah.
ones kinda did that too.
Yeah, like the 4th of July one where it was like, "And then it was 4th of July and we sold honey." The
And
end.
then that bear is just a ha ha, silly, silly, hee hee, ha ha, hoo hoo we had.
And Papa makes, like, a joke about a hat, and then
And
she's
you're
like, "But you get the hat," and she's like, "Wow, 4th of July, America.
and she's like,
Bye."
"Ugh, to be an American."
Yeah, it'll
So
be good,
queen.
though. We're excited.
It'll be good. So, we went through most of the peek into the past kind of earlier at the start of the episode. But Caroline and I thought it would be fun to talk just super briefly about a fact. I'm not Did you know this fact? I only knew this
I did
because of the
not know
book.
this. I didn't know
Okay,
about this.
but we didn't know about this. So we talked about this earlier a little bit, but that the Nez Perce people specifically did not on record encounter white colonizers until 1805, which says when Kai would have been 50, and this is what the book says, which is when Lewis and Clark encountered them.
Yeah, which I didn't know. I looked up I was like, I think sorry, my camera. But, I was thinking Sacagawea wasn't Nez Perce, was she? Like,
I'm literally looking it up right now.
I don't think she was, and it makes sense that they would have countered more than one tribe. Um,
She was a Lemhi
okay, so yeah, it
Shoshone.
wasn't her, but it makes sense that they would have encountered more than one. But
And her
it is
teeth.
interesting that I don't know. I always think this is so interesting. I think with Kaya a little bit because it's 1764 and it feels so remotely removed from anything. But this is like the year Felicity was born, so like the colonies and stuff were like all going on over there. So it's kind of interesting to think that like the only amount of settlers touching the Nez Perce at this point was kind of what grandma said about the
Yeah.
disease and the horses. And like most of the tribal life is still left intact. Meanwhile, there's the whole like English settlement going on in the way that we perceive it. So it just kind of like more than anything, and like just as an addition to what we covered at the beginning of this book for the peek into the past, it was just kind of interesting to put this in the context of like this was as recent as, like, America that we think about. Like, it's not that old that like, it's 300 years, sure, almost, but, like, it's
We're
not like
not
this is,
that
like,
far
the
removed.
1500s. Yeah.
No, I think this is something we've talked about before as history enjoyers, but sometimes it's funny when you think about world history, how old
Mhm.
some of it is, especially when you go abroad, like in any
Mhm.
direction. How much older like those ancient civilizations are versus like when we talk about American history, of course we're talking about indigenous peoples on this land. Their histories go back to like
Mhm.
14, 13, 1500s, but, like, we don't necessarily talk about them. Also, like, a lot of tribal history isn't written down in the same ways as, like, American history as, like so I think it's very interesting because you're right. Relatively, the United States is a very young country.
Yeah.
So, it is crazy to think about that this is the start of American history.
Yeah, this is only, like, 360 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
but
not
then you
even
talk about, like
260, sorry.
but you talk
I don't
about,
know.
like, excavations of, like, other, like, ancient civilizations, and they are literally from, like, thousands
It's
of
just so
years
interesting
ago.
to realize, like, I know we know this, like, um, theoretically, but, like, to really kind of take in the fact that these tribes and these people were here for so much longer than, like, America was here,
Yeah,
and, like, that, like, there's a whole history that will it was 261 years ago, which is
it's
crazy.
crazy.
That's, like, so
But it doesn't
not
actually
long.
feel that not long at all, and how much, like, this nation has changed even in that time
Yeah, well, it's just
is
you think of
crazy.
people being, like, generations, like, that's, like I think that's less than 5 generations ago, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but it's not like you could have relatives that you know things about from that generation, you know?
Yeah,
Like, it's not I think you kinda see it as like, "Oh, she lives in teepees and, like, they live on the land and stuff," and think this was so long ago, but relatively, it's actually not, and I think that's kind of when I was reading The Peak to the Past and, like, yeah, the European invasion is just right around the corner kind of in an ominous way, especially and it's also, like, if you think they're so far west, they're, like that's kind of the point of the Lewis and Clark expedition is how far west it was, so it's, like, by 50 years after the birth of America, we made it all the way across, and kinda decimated this ancient population is kinda crazy to think about.
Well, I was gonna say that was the only other kind of I mean, if you've ever paid attention in history class and you're an American, you already know
Which if
this.
you're listening to this, you did.
You're right, you did. Um, I appreciated at least that this peek into the past ends by basically showing that, like, from the point in which in the 1800s we made like, white people made contact, from that point basically onward, it was just a struggle to maintain any control over the land that they had
Mhm.
been historically settled on, because it became like, "Oh, well, here, we'll make a treaty so that we won't invade you." But actually, we gave you guys too much land, so here's another treaty. It's even less land, it's even more restrictive. By the way, now actually, we don't want you really there at all, so we're gonna take even more of it away, and we're gonna force you to sign another treaty, or we're gonna keep slaughtering your people.
And we're gonna move you somewhere else.
And
We're
we're gonna
gonna
move you
take your
somewhere
kids
else.
and assimilate them, and, like
Yep. And put them in schools and punish them when they don't conform, and, like, I do feel like similar to the Addie books, Peeks into the Past, I guess
Mhm,
I do appreciate that we're not just being like I know we set these books pre, like, colonial contact for a
mhm.
reason, but I at least appreciate that the historical part, we're not ignoring that, like, yeah, we don't have these huge groups in their, like, ancestral lands anymore because when America got settled, we destroyed them.
Yeah. No, I think that's like a
So, I liked that.
I appreciate that. Also, like, just as like a note too, it just reminds me, I remember some of the more shocking like Dear America books I read as a kid were about these like tribal girls who were sent to these like assimilation schools basically where they had to choose like a anglicized name and they cut their
Boo.
hair and they put them in like English clothing and they taught them English and they had to do all this stuff and it's just kind of sad to think about how these people are kind of manipulated and strong-armed into and, like, forced, not even manipulated, just, like, forced under, like, threat of death and stuff into giving up their lands and kind of I don't know, it kind of has a weird bittersweetness to the Kaya stories, I feel like, because like, it's all coming to an end.
Yeah, it's like she's a part of she'll be alive at a time where the like, much the way her grandmother talked about how horses came in her life and everything changed so dramatically,
Uh-huh.
Kaya will, in her elder years, live through a similar upheaval and change in her traditional way of life.
But we're gonna enjoy the journey until we get there.
Yeah.
So, Celia, what are your closing thoughts on our new, very different girl?
I wrote, "New girl." I said, "She's fun, she's brash, and she's definitely got a personality." I like that, and I like her, and I obviously like that she has horses. I appreciated that we got a lot of characters, introduced all at once so that, like, we understand at least the initial sort of web of her life,
Mhm.
and we have some characters that we can probably look forward to seeing and revisiting in the future. Also, I thought it was funny that this is basically a meet saves the day and learns a lesson book all in one,
You're right, we
which
squashed him in.
goes to show that maybe some of the other books could have been written a little more efficiently.
We're a little long-winded.
Could be. I know we both talked about it, but I liked the blend. The parts that, like, maybe I glazed over a little bit in the summary were interesting on their own, though, because they were definitely, like, cultural reflections of,
Mhm.
like, her life, and I felt like we had a good flow to the book. Like, I never felt like I was dredging through it, which
Yeah,
sometimes these
happens.
books can feel that way. And then I said, I don't think it would have read as well if they had set her books post, like, colonization.
Mhm, I agree.
Uh, I think Addie's books work really well, having her escape slavery, but you still acknowledge the realities of it while also
Mhm.
discussing, like, that freedom wasn't necessarily easy either. With, like, Kaya, I just think if we were reading in a time where, like, the white man was there, I feel like it would have detracted from just telling, like, a story about her family and her life and the culture there. So I think it was the right decision. I don't think I would have enjoyed this book as much had like the central conflict been like that.
I agree. I think there's some nice, like, purity of the culture element to it that I really like, and I really do I think it's very nice that the, advisory board was kind of the people who were kind of very adamant about that. I think it's kinda nice to see the preservation of this tribe's culture without European influence and kind of see that honored, and it's like, I don't wanna use, like, pure again, but, like, in its, like, most, like, natural form, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun. I will say it's kinda crazy I don't remember reading this, like, almost at all. I don't know what happened to my brain because I remember so much. Also, I'm interested to see if I remember other things from other books, but all I
Yeah.
remembered was the magpie thing. Because I definitely remember I, like, literally my mom brought out the Kaya books, and asked me to bring them to Austin. I was like, "It's a lot of books to bring on a plane."
You're like, I don't know
Um
about that yet.
Yeah, I had, like, the Molly the Kit and the Kaya books, and she's like, "Bring all these on your carry-on." I was like, "No,
And you're
this is
like,
too
haha.
heavy."
Anyway.
But I thought it was fun. I really like when I was in school, I loved hearing, like, the Native American lore, like, the stories about how the world got formed and kind of those interesting tidbits, and we didn't say it, but the Peek into the Past begins with the legend of how the Nez Perce's legend of how they got formed, how they became created, and I thought that was a really cool way to open the Peek into the Past, and it was a little
Yeah.
different. So, I kinda feel like it's a little bit like, how we felt with Josefina, where it's just kind of like a change of pace, like you're in a new world for us, and it's kind of exciting to read that.
Yeah.
And I the one thing that I kind of thought when I was reading this was, Hattie alert. Guys, there's a cat
Uh-oh.
now.
Uh-oh, cat
Catty.
alert. Hattie
Little white
catty.
paws.
Little white
But,
paws. Little woman.
Jan did way better in this than she did with Kirsten, so I said Kirsten walked so Kaya could run swiftly on
That
steps high.
honestly, I feel surprised they had the same author. I completely agree. I
They're very
really
different.
very different. And I don't know how much of a gap there was. I mean, at least 5 years, I feel
No, like
like.
20 years, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
Kirsten's
good.
at late 80s, so maybe not 20, but, like, late 80s, and this was, like, 2003, I
Oh,
think.
2000, yeah, 2002, and then oh, yeah, holy
87,
shit.
so, like, 15 years.
Okay, yeah, so obviously she's had
So she
time to improve
cooked.
as a writer.
Yeah,
Yeah, her book, I feel like I was hesitant, and this I really enjoyed the first
yeah.
book.
And then the only other thing I had to note was just kind of which I think we'll see throughout the books in general is it's so interesting kind of if you think about the tribal life that, like, you grow up and you move with the exact same people forever. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Kaya and her family might go out on, like, a hunting expedition and, like, leave, or they might, like it, like, seems like they, like, spread and then they come back, they spread and then they come back, and it's kind of interesting to think about, like, knowing the same it'd be like if you, like, knew everyone you went to, like, elementary school with forever, you know, or all your neighbors growing up, that they were just, like, the only people you ever met, and I think that's kind of fascinating that I just
Oh,
didn't
it's
think about until this book.
no, it's I agree. I was when I read your note, I thought the same thing because I feel like too it's a very interesting thing culturally that I
Mhm.
feel like we've moved away from except for in like honestly like non like Anglo-Saxon
Mhm.
uh, like
Cultures.
regions. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like being with your family, staying with your family when you get older, your parents would come and live with you and like you'd care for them or like you and your siblings might all build like homes near each other so that like
Mhm.
you can take care of each other's kids and stuff like that. Like obviously there's pros and cons to like not, mingling with other people and like meeting outside of like your culture and things like that. But it is interesting to think about like, oh, like what if forever I was just with also, I would love to know, like this is just something I might look up for next time. What's, like, historical lifespans for the time? Like, how
I
old
think it
were
was
people
around, like,
getting?
50, 60. I don't think Kaya's hanging around much after 50.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we were still not living that long back then.
Yeah. Who knows?
But
But, I mean, I just kinda thought of it really when, grandma was talking about her, and I'm gonna try and use the, like, names for grandma and, like, mom and dad in the next book, but when she was talking about her friends making fun of her and still calling her, like, finger cakes, I was like, "Oh, yeah, her friends are still there." Like, they're, like, 3/10 over. Like, the girls she grew up with are still, like, around. They didn't
Oh,
move
yeah,
on, like, maybe one
and they
did move
know
on to a different tribe,
everything
but
about you.
can you imagine?
No, that's haunting. There's
It
some people
is.
who are not around anymore because they need not remind me of
Play
my misgivings of my youth.
exactly. But no, I mean, I'm excited for the rest of the books. I think it's like I said, we enjoy all of them to a certain degree. We enjoyed Kit, but it was kind of in the Molly realm where it felt like history lessons that we'd already learned, and so it's kind of
Yeah,
exciting to get back to, like, learning something while we're reading,
yeah,
besides mortgages,
100%.
which I did learn about.
I mean, and that's valuable too.
Yeah. And if you guys like this podcast and you like learning new things, then share this with your most boastful friend.
Share this with your horse girl.
Share this with your friend who sneaks her brother's finger cakes.
Share this with somebody you would give an embarrassing nickname to.
Share this with the only blind person you know.
And you know what, guys? Share this with your mom and dad who you still live in a tent with.
Yeah. And if you like this episode, if you have any fun historical facts for us that we missed, any light but gentle corrections to anything we've had to say today, then comment YouTube, comment on Spotify, give us 5 stars, share with your friends, share with people we didn't even mention.
Send us a little kiss.
Yeah, send us a little kiss and let us know how you're liking the coverage so far. We're super excited to continue with Kaya. And I officially fixed my camera today, so we should be
Yay!
back in studio,
We'll
which
be
is right
back
over
in
there,
order.
for the next book or two. So, unless we were busy, and then we'll do this again because
Well,
this is all for free. This is all for you. That's why we need you to support us in any way you can. And we'll talk to you next time for the next Kaya book, whose name I don't know because it's not Kaya Learns a Lesson.
that's right, and I don't remember it.
And
So,
we can't look it up because
be surprised.
we're doing
Oh my
this in the
gosh.
middle of the workday because we like you. So, bye.
Bye.